Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Off the Air. I'm your host in exile, Trey Harris, and before we get in, I'd just like to explain a bit about what the podcast is about. I'm starting my own personality-based thing. We're going to have a lot of special guests, a lot of fun segments, and I'm just here. We're figuring it out, and we'll see where it goes. First up, let's get into some world news. In Florida recently, a man named David Alvarez, not David Alvarez, shit. His name was David Orlando, shit.
Just go with David Alvarez. It's fake news.
Until it's real news. It's very real news, unlike what my producer is saying. But this guy David, he went and he pulled a bald eagle out of an alligator's mouth. Now, what do you have to say about that? It's very patriotic, right, Zoe? Guys, I'm trying to make a nice podcast here, and it's relevant and everything. In the news today, a man in Florida has pulled a bald eagle from a gator's mouth. A true American hero, David Anderson, sprung into action as he dove when he saw a gator on the edge of a pond with a bald eagle in his mouth. "It's our bald eagle, it's our treasure," Anderson told reporters later. "It stands for who we are and what we are." Truly an inspiring, patriotic story. 5,550 packets of heroin were seized in Southern California, many bearing the name and likeness of President Donald Trump. Whether or not this is a new direction for the country's economy will be seen, or whether it was unsanctioned. And in a scene straight out of Footloose, a small Oklahoma town has canceled a Valentine's Day dance due to an arcane law on the books. The 40-year-old law bans dancing within 500 feet of a place of worship, and the dance was going to be within 300 feet of a church. And this is just, in my opinion, emblematic of a larger shift towards ideals seen in 80s movies, culminating later this year with what I predict will be the banning of the Ghostbusters. And finally today, from the White House, President Trump has posted a fake Abraham Lincoln quote on Instagram celebrating his birthday. The photo included a caption that read, "Happy birthday, Abraham Lincoln," and the quote said, "And in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years." This was falsely attributed to Abraham Lincoln, and in response, we have posted, "It's not the booty in your funk, it's the funk in your booty that counts. President Donald Trump." Here to comment is student correspondent Zoe Ferguson. Zoe, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Trey.
Now, I didn't intend to have you, but you were outside and I pulled you in, so tell me, what do you think?
I think, well...
Zoe, I'm not going to pull you into my podcast unconsensually if you don't have anything interesting to say. You're ruining this for me and for yourself.
I think that bad for him, but, he's done worse things. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have me on here.
Before we get on to the rest of the segments, listeners, I'd like to take a second to talk about a question I've been getting and just address my absence from Student Gov. I just want to say, your reputation, it's the only thing you really have that other people can see. Sure, deep down you might have like a sort of fundamental goodness to you, but it doesn't mean squat if you don't comport yourself that way, As many of you may have noticed, I'm no longer on the daily announcements, and the events surrounding this absence have, in whatever direction, affected my reputation. That's just something I can't avoid. Now, how it affected my rep obviously varies from person to person. Some people think this is great, others not so much. I personally see this as an opportunity. As I'm now off the air, that's given me the chance to start this podcast with the same name, Off the Air. Now, people have been throwing out the word censorship a lot. I just want to say, I don't consider myself censored. This is more of just a case of mixed ideas as to what the announcements should be, and neither side really communicated our vision clearly enough. Do I blame them? Well, yes and no. Mostly yes, because it was ultimately their decision, but to be fair, I did go along with it, and my decisions to say the things I said, and to live stream on the Student Gov Instagram saying the things I also said, they were my own. As a result, my reputation was affected, and it was strongly recommended that I step down and all that. And so I'm going to live with my choices and how they affected my reputation and simply say on to the next. It's the only thing I can do, right? Am I bitter at all? Bitter that the institution I spent 2 years fighting tooth and claw to join, that I campaigned for, that I poured my sweat, blood, and tears and hard-earned money into, that I dedicated my time and energy to week after bureaucratically bogged down week, that they kicked me out like last week's old fish? No, I'm not. I'm just ready to get back to work. Valentine's Day was yesterday, folks, and for those of us who maybe didn't have a great holiday, maybe committed that
Oh, sorry, I'm a little bit sick. I'd like to introduce myself also.
maybe committed a few relationship faux pas.
Yeah,
I have here in the studio a special guest.
I would like you to stop interrupting me.
Special guest who can
I
help
don't-
us out. Why doesn't he introduce himself?
Yeah, thank you, because I really, what's up with you, man? You changed.
I've changed.
You've changed.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Cole Harris. I'm his brother. I don't know what happened, man. We used to be so close.
Relationship guru Cole Harris is in the studio today.
I already introduced myself.
Cole, welcome to Off the Air.
Yeah, that's... Could have had such better names for your podcast.
You don't like the name?
No, the name's bad.
What are you? What
I
would
think
you
a better
suggest?
name would be
What?
like, I'm a goblin man and I need to die.
Uh-huh.
Something like that.
What's the perfect first date?
Perfect first date? Never touch.
Never touch on the first date. That's a
No physical
no
contact.
physical contact. And what would you do?
No,
that
no,
doesn't have any
just
physical
Skype.
Contact? Just Skype on the first date.
Skype on the first date.
And what do you talk about?
You just talk about your life, you know, your story.
Now, on the third date, there's a bit of a societal construct where it's expected we have a little bit of hanky-panky afterwards. What's your idea of a good third date?
What do you mean? You're still Skyping at that point.
You're still Skyping.
You're still Skyping.
And so, on what date would you make physical contact with your partner?
I think that would be the seventh date.
The seventh date. And what kind of contact would you recommend?
Date. I'd like a firm handshake.
So, Cole, last question before we let you go. Let's put your advice into action. What about me right here in front of you? What would you do? What would you change about me right now to make me a Cole Harris certified player?
I mean, first off, the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of it.
Shave it bald. Yeah.
Yeah, when it grows back in, bleach it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sort of a Captain Rex look.
What?
He's in the Clone Wars.
What?
He's kind of bald, but he has a blonde buzz
All right,
cut, and the rest
so,
of the
like,
clones have
So
dark hair.
cut being a fucking nerd.
What about just being more attractive in general? What's your
Being
idea?
more attractive in general.
just in your playbook.
All right then. Well, here we go.
Oh boy.
So first off, get rid of these pants. Like, don't like be naked, but like wear cargo pants,
Cargo pants.
cargo shorts
Cargo shorts.
in particular.
Yeah.
With get like a nice maybe like a rabbit hide belt. Yeah,
Rabbit hide.
rabbit hide.
Sort of bunny leather, if you would.
Yes.
What else?
So then you'd so you know that shirt you're wearing right now?
Yes, listeners, for those of you at home, I'm wearing a black t-shirt that has 3 buttons around the collar.
So do you have a knife in here?
I don't have a
Yes,
knife.
you do.
What are you doing?
I'm grabbing your knife.
Listeners, my brother is making his way to where I keep my pocket knife in my room. He's now
This is
opened
a really
it.
bad knife.
Okay, what are you doing?
So just
What
stay
are
very
you doing?
still.
If you don't cut me.
I'm not gonna cut you.
Put the knife down. You're gonna cut me or
Dude,
you're gonna cut
take
my
a breath.
clothes. Stop.
breath.
What are you
Take a
doing?
breath. Take a breath.
You put a knife pointed at my... Don't you dare cut the sleeves off my shirt. Don't you...
My guest today is DatManFound, admin of the popular meme account on Instagram of the same name. His voice has been digitally altered to protect his identity. DatManFound, you're officially off the air. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So let's just get right into it. How'd your account get started, and where does the name come from?
Well, if you'll think back and remember a while ago, there was that account Soda Gossip, and believe it or not, that's actually the reason why my account exists. I created this account as a kind of a parody, saying, because there's an account Who Runs Soda Gossip tracking their exploits, and so just to jump on the bandwagon, I created Who Runs Soda Gossip, and from there, after the whole Soda Gossip wave blew over, I went on to just begin posting memes, because I just like memes and I wanted to share them. And people stuck around, and in fact, more came. And it saddened me when my meme account became more popular than my main account. But hey, what the heck? And the rest is history.
Well, it did, in fact, evolve into a popular meme account, but what's your personal definition of a meme and the work you produce?
Well, for me, a meme is just a way to share ideas non-verbally, though there are videos, but not human to human, but through artificial means, I suppose, through electronic computers, whatever. But it's really just it's a tool for culture to be transmitted.
Fascinating, fascinating. And going on there, how would you describe the social impact of your memes and of the meme in general?
Well, my memes are mostly stuff that I enjoy myself. It's not really the goal is just to enjoy them, be happy. But memes in general are they're a tool for the world to express themselves, express their feelings and emotions, and I think that's really powerful. And it can go beyond that even to start movements. Like there's a lot more to a meme than just a funny picture per se.
Wow. Well, you touched on this a bit back there, but you do make a lot of your own memes. Can you tell us what goes into your process and take us through the process of creating a DatManFound meme?
Well, I take inspiration from what's around me, so a lot of my Photoshops are just about school and just funny things that are going on, just stuff that I like, that makes me laugh, so I like to share with other people, and yeah, I think that's really I just like to make fun of things, laugh at myself and at others, so that's kind of what I do.
You covered the student walkouts following the 2016 election results, and we touched on this a little earlier, but what do you consider to be the role of the meme in our current tumultuous political climate?
Well, I touched on this before, just that it's kind of a way for people to express themselves, and while mine were kind of poking fun at some of the stuff that went on during the election and immediately after the election, they can go on to, influence people, um, just kind of, they get your people's opinions out there, and some of them can be funny, some of them can be more serious, but mine were more on the humorous side. Yeah.
And anonymity has become a traditional part of the meme account structure. What, in your opinion, like as an admin, does anonymity add to the DatManFound experience?
Well, my account did suffer several leaks over the months that it has been around, but I think it's safe to say that at this point, no one knows who I am. But I think what it really adds is that idea of this mysterious vigilante just sharing humor and the real news to the world, to the school, just covering all genres of, entertainment.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to your normal meme feed, you're also known for your video edits involving figures in the soda community. What was the impetus for these projects? How did they come about?
Well, I guess I'd have to say it started with the Spanish project, where I initially started messing around with, video editing and just screwing around with that kind of stuff. And once I started uh, dipping my toes in photoshopping and messing around with other visual aspects, I figured, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. I'll just try, making a silly video imitating some of the ones I've seen before, and they turned out to be pretty funny, so I just kept along that route. And I've actually had a couple projects that I've been working on, but since I'm not particularly good at with the video editing software, they had to get scrapped because, memes expire, you just gotta, when things pass, they pass. You can't hold on to them forever.
Well, finally, as we're reaching the end of our time here, but can you give us a hint? What's next for the DatManFound brand?
Well, I would like to get more into posting more original content. Right now, I've had to borrow from other creators, but I would like to, in the future, continue to produce more videos because those have always been really fun to make and watch, and also doing more original photoshops because those are always fun and quite a fun thing to do and quite enjoyable. So yes, that's what the future holds in store for us for now. I will try and keep posting regularly, daily. At best, I don't want to flood everyone, but at the same time, I want to keep them coming back for more.
DatManFound, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the nature of experimentation, this next segment is entirely unscripted, live, fresh, and high energy. Just everything that makes soda great. I'm going to be running up to people in the hallways and non-consensually interviewing them. Let's see what happens. Virgil Warren, what do you have to say to the accusations that you have a white man's penis?
Well, I could show you my dick right now.
Please do.
Wait, really?
False. Let's keep moving. Just checking. Who would be some good people to ambush? Let's see. Visual people tend to be quiet. All right. Oh, Jen Love. Jen Love is very enthusiastic. All right. I'm just going to figure out what should I ask about? What should I ask about? Well, listeners, this podcast is all about you and all about the people. So what we're doing here is we're taking it live to the streets to some unsuspecting listeners to just ask about their day. Jen Love, how are you doing?
Well,
Jen, I'm trying to do a nice, descriptive segment where we talk about what people are doing, what soda students are doing with their lives. You're ruining this for me and for yourself.
my life is falling apart.
Jen, get away from us with your emo bull crap. I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying to make a nice podcast. Jen, you're ruining this for everyone. We're leaving. All right, guys, let's find another guest. Nico Rakos, it occurs to me that with this segment, we're just ripping off Billy on the street. Thoughts?
I probably, yeah.
Well, he's a funny guy, and it works for him. Let's go in here. Eric Slayton, you're on Off the Air. How's your day going?
I'm okay, I'm sick.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you? Too much time. All right, we're leaving. Thank you, Eric Slayton, for nothing. Nico Sanchez, anything you'd like to plug?
I'd like to plug my sled. I built a sled and I went down half a hill. It didn't go far. And I'm also releasing a rap album with a Will in visual. I don't know what it's called, but it will be LIT.
Truly great to see the next generation of artists moving and working. This is what Soda's about, people. This is what it's like to see art in action, in motion. Nathan Savant, you lived a tortured first 5 years of your life in the South Sudan before you were whisked away by a white family. Thoughts?
Wow, my story is being told now.
Swallow first, gross boy.
I'm sorry.
You're gross, Nathan, you're gross.
Thank you.
You're gross and everyone thinks so. God, I love you.
Please cut this.
You get one more chance, Jen Love. Make this interesting. Or I will beat you with this microphone, I swear to Keck.
So if you want to beat me with the microphone, I would gladly invite you to. I would be totally down to just fight you any day, anytime.
Ooh, Jen's edgy. We got a lot of edgelords. It's soda. That's soda. We do drugs, and we're sad. Cause art. And that's all we have for this segment, folks. Join us next week when we're talking to Cole Harris again, and he insults my masculinity for the 47th time. All right. Before we go, folks, I'd like to bring in a moment of levity in this serious podcast. So I've pulled up a Garfield comic strip. Now, Garfield, of course, is the lazy cat, center of the Garfield comic strip by Jim Davis. And in today's Garfield, okay, sorry. So Garfield's sitting there, right? And he's thinking, I'm bored. And then John, his owner, walks in and he's reading a book. And John says, it says here that boredom can spawn a more active imagination. And Garfield thinks, interesting. And we're in the final panel. And he's just thinking about pie. And then he thinks, oh, great. Now I'm hungry, too. Here to comment is my producer, Nico Rakos. God, Nico, this is hilarious. No, you're not getting it. So look, so John says an active imagination, or if you're bored, you can have an active imagination. As it's Garfield's bored, like he says in the first panel, he's imagining pie. Look at it. It's like steaming. It's listeners. It's really yummy looking pie too. Is that the thing? So that's why he's hungry. Oh, I love this goofy kitty. It's just hilarious. Look, it's pie. Okay, get off the mic. You obviously have no taste for comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this week. I'd like to give a big thank you to Jim Davis, Ari Atkin, Nico Rakos, Ron S. McCann, our guests Zoe Ferguson, Cole Harris, and DatManFound. And I just want to say thank you for listening. That's a wrap.